everyone, it's Lori Brown from empowerednurses.org and yournurseattorney.com. And today I want to talk to you about the Office of the Inspector General Exclusion List. Now, you may or may not have heard about this, and basically the government keeps a list of nurses and other healthcare professionals who are not allowed to take care of Medicaid or Medicare patients for usually the next 5 years. So can you imagine if you were on this list where you would work? It's really scary. So what I want to talk to you today about is how to prevent from getting on this list so you can go ahead and work regular jobs and not have to worry about it. If you are on this list, there are places you can work. You can work in cosmetic surgery that doesn't take any Medicare or Medicaid, which typically they don't. Plastic surgeons typically don't. You can work for a holistic doctor or a concierge medicine physician, those kind of places that they don't take Medicare or Medicaid. So it's not, completely impossible to get a job, but it is way more difficult, and your job pool, which was here, is down to here. So let's prevent you from getting on the list, okay? So first is that if you have a criminal matter, there's two types of exclusions. The first is mandatory, and that is, there's no way to get off that. It's just mandatory. And the second is permissive. So what will happen is if they think that you are a candidate for this list, if you're mandatory, they're going to send you a letter saying, hey, you're on the list. If it's permissive, then you have 30 days to prepare a response to show why you shouldn't get on that list. And if you, I would suggest to write that letter that you hire an attorney to assist you with that, somebody who's familiar with the Office of the Inspector General and to know what they're looking for to get you off that list. So things that will get you on the mandatory exclusion list include felony offenses that basically where you withhold care and treatment from Medicare and Medicaid patients, patient abuse and neglect, felony convictions related to other healthcare offenses, theft or financial conduct, like if you stole something from a Medicare or Medicaid patient, and felony convictions related to unlawful distribution, prescription, and manufacturing and dispensing of controlled substances. So just think felony, any felony-related offense. To be on the permissive list includes misdemeanor convictions relating to health care other than Medicare or Medicaid state program, misdemeanor convictions relating to unlawful manufacture, distribution, prescription of controlled substances. And here's the kicker. Suspension, revocation, or surrender of a license could get you on the permissive list. So if you think about surrendering your license and you're like, okay, I just don't want to work in Arizona anymore. I'm going to surrender my license there, but my license is fine in California. If you're on this list, you can't work in California. If you surrender your license in Arizona, you can't work anywhere taking care of Medicare or Medicaid patients. So it's really important, do not surrender your license. And if you choose to, you have to know the consequences. You can't even work as a unit secretary in a facility that takes Medicare or Medicaid patients, or a CNA. So just be very, very careful of that, and make sure you talk to somebody who's experienced with the to prevent you from going on that OIG list. Now, one of the other things is that if you agree to a felony diversion, and basically diversion is where if you do fine for a year, they will take you off of the list, or they'll take you off the felony and it will go away. And it sounds great. Oh yeah, if I can get rid of this in a year, this would be perfect. Felony diversion is still considered a conviction and you'll go on the list. So even though you won't have a criminal matter on your record in a year, you will still not be able to take care of Medicare or Medicaid patients. And this is a hard one for nurses to swallow, because if you have a choice between a misdemeanor conviction or a felony diversion where it goes away after a year, you want to protect your record, your criminal record, and it goes away after a year, that one certainly sounds better. But you have to know the fallout, and that is that you could not be able to take care of Medicare and Medicaid patients for a year. So whenever you're thinking about surrendering your license, it has other implications, not just the OIG list. It has implications such as any professional license that you want to get, you won't be able to. So just be very careful. Anytime you're thinking of surrendering your license, not wanting to follow a board order, things like that, there is always other and unintended consequences. So I hope this video helps you to prevent you from getting on this list, because your livelihood is too important. And if you do have a criminal matter, make sure you share this with your criminal attorney so that they can look up the law and protect you. Thanks.